The galaxy thought humanity was weak. For centuries, the great alien empires looked at Earth as nothing more than a small blue planet with fragile creatures. They laughed at the idea that humans could ever stand against them. To the alien warlords, humans were late arrivals to the stars, unprepared, unworthy, and powerless. Their fleets were small, their colonies scattered, their technology far behind the mighty powers of the galaxy. The alien council chambers echoed with cruel laughter. Generals, admirals, and lords of different species joked about Earth as if it was a child playing war. "Their ships are nothing but floating junk," one commander sneered. "Their armies are soft, their people weak. They will fall the moment we push." And so, with arrogance in their hearts, they decided to strike. The first target was a human colony on the edge of known space. A quiet settlement, far from Earth, with only farmers, miners, and families living under the stars. The colony had no defenses, only a small space station and a few cargo ships. The aliens came like predators in the night. Their fleet, sleek and powerful, dropped out of hyperspace above the colony. The settlers looked to the sky in fear. Dozens of alien warships hovered above them like shadows of doom. The aliens wasted no time. Fire rained down from the orbiting cruisers. Homes burned. Fields of crops turned to ash. The sky was filled with smoke and the screams of the innocent. Families rushed into underground shelters, but many were caught in the chaos. The alien commander watched from his flagship, his face twisted in a cruel grin. "This is humanity's fate," he declared to his crew. "They are too weak to resist us. Let this be the first example." His officers laughed, recording the destruction to broadcast later across the stars, as a warning to anyone who thought of siding with Earth. But as the colony burned, something strange happened. A signal went out. A distress call, weak and broken, yet it reached the void of space. The aliens ignored it, laughing again. "Let them cry for help," they mocked. "No one is coming. Humanity has no fleet." They were wrong. Hours later, as the alien fleet celebrated its easy victory, sensors on the flagship picked up a single reading. A lone ship was approaching. It was not large, it was not sleek. To the aliens, it looked almost primitive, with sharp lines and heavy armor plates. The alien commander smirked. "A human warship? Alone? Foolish." The crew on the bridge watched as the lone ship closed the distance. It carried no escort, no fleet. Just one vessel against dozens. The alien commander ordered his gunners to prepare. Destroy it quickly, show them how pathetic they truly are. But when the human ship came within range, the galaxy's view of humanity began to change forever. Without warning, the warship opened fire, not with weak plasma shots or outdated cannons. Instead, thunder roared through space as magnetic railguns unleashed slugs the size of cars. The first shot tore through an alien cruiser, splitting it in half. The second shot crippled a destroyer, flames bursting from its engines. In seconds, the laughter on the alien flagship turned to silence. The alien commander staggered back. "Impossible," he shouted. "How can one human ship—" His words were cut short as missiles launched from the warship, guided with perfect precision. They slipped past alien shields and detonated inside their hulls. Entire ships vanished in balls of fire. Panic spread. Alien captains screamed over comms, begging for orders. Their formation broke apart. They had come as hunters, but now they were prey. The human warship moved with deadly precision, striking like a predator in the dark. It seemed to vanish between attacks, using stealth systems the aliens had never seen before. The colonists below, hiding in their shelters, looked to the sky again. They saw explosions in the heavens. They saw alien ships falling, burning up in the atmosphere. And for the first time that night, they felt hope. Humanity had not abandoned them. On the alien flagship, terror grew. The commander shouted for retreat, but it was too late. The human warship had locked on. With one final barrage, its cannons unleashed a storm of destruction. The flagship's shield shattered, its hull tearing apart as fire consumed it. The commander's last words were drowned in the roar of the explosion. Silence followed. The once proud alien fleet was gone, destroyed by a single human warship. The colonists cheered as the warship descended slowly, its massive frame casting a shadow over the burning fields. The survivors cried tears of relief, whispering prayers of thanks. The name of the ship would soon spread across the galaxy like a ghost story, the Hunter of Shadows. For the first time, the galaxy realized the truth. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was not helpless. Humanity was dangerous. And this was only the beginning. The destruction of the alien fleet spread across the galaxy like wildfire. At first, many refused to believe the reports. One human warship had erased dozens of alien vessels in a single battle. To the mighty empires of the stars, such a thing was impossible. But when no alien ships returned from the raid, the laughter that once filled the council halls turned to silence. Still, arrogance is a stubborn disease. Alien rulers convinced themselves it was luck. One victory means nothing, they told their people. The humans use tricks, nothing more. Their weakness will show soon enough. But deep inside their hearts, a shadow of fear began to grow. Humanity did not wait. While alien leaders argued, Earth's secret fleets began to move. Hidden in asteroid belts, buried inside moons, and cloaked in the blackness of space, human warships awakened. They had been waiting for this moment, preparing in silence while the galaxy mocked them, and now they struck. The first target was a supply convoy belonging to the Karth Dominion, an empire that had loudly declared humans as nothing but space vermin. The convoy traveled through empty space, escorted by destroyers and cruisers. They believed themselves safe, but they were wrong. From the darkness, human warships appeared. They did not announce themselves. They did not give warnings. Like hunters in a forest, they moved silently, striking with precision. Railgun fire shredded the escort ships. Missiles tore into the freighters. In less than 10 minutes, the entire convoy was gone. The Karth Dominion screamed for vengeance. They gathered an armada of 50 ships and sent them to hunt the humans. But the humans were not waiting in one place. They became shadows across the stars. One by one, alien fleets vanished. Some were found drifting in silence, their crews gone. Others exploded without warning, destroyed before they could even send a distress call. Alien admirals began to fear hyperspace travel. Their maps were filled with red marks where fleets had disappeared. Whispers spread among the soldiers. The humans are hunting us. Across colonies and stations, aliens who once laughed at Earth now spoke in hushed voices. In bars, smugglers told stories of human ships appearing from nowhere, striking like lightning, then vanishing into the void. Traders swore they had seen glowing human eyes watching from the darkness of wrecked ships. Fear was no longer a rumor, it was reality. But the humans were not fighting blindly. Every strike was planned. Every battle was chosen carefully. The humans collected data, studied enemy tactics, and dismantled the galaxy's empires piece by piece. Where aliens had mocked them as primitive, they now whispered that humans were the predators of the stars. One empire, the Zorathi Collective, decided to prove otherwise. They launched their greatest fleet, over 100 warships, into the Orion sector, where human colonies were most vulnerable. Their leader announced proudly, "We will erase the humans and show the galaxy their true weakness." What they found instead was terror. As their fleet entered the sector, human signals jammed their communications. Darkness surrounded them. Ships lost contact with one another. Then, without warning, human warships appeared all around. Not dozens, not hundreds, just a handful. But every shot they fired struck perfectly. Railgun slugs pierced Zorathi shields like paper. Missiles found their engines with terrifying accuracy. Human ships moved through the battle like predators in water, never staying in one place, always striking from the shadows. The Zorathi screamed for retreat, but hyperspace jump drives refused to lock. Human hackers had disabled them. One by one, the mighty ships of the Zorathi Collective exploded, burning in silence. When the battle ended, debris filled the sector. Out of 100 Zorathi warships, not one returned. Survivors floated in escape pods, whispering prayers of survival. And when they were rescued, all they could say was the same 3 words. They hunted us. Across the galaxy, panic spread. The laughter was gone. The mockery was gone. Now only fear remained. Alien governments tightened defenses, but it did not matter. Wherever they hid, the humans found them. On the edge of nebulae, in asteroid fortresses, even in deep space stations, the hunters came. Humanity was no longer defending its borders. Humanity was on the offensive. For the first time in history, the galaxy began to understand what it truly meant to fight Earth. The humans were not just warriors. They were survivors. They had endured wars, plagues, famines, and disasters on their own world. They had learned how to adapt, how to endure, how to strike when the enemy was weakest. And now, with warships forged in secret and fueled by fury, humanity had become the nightmare of the stars. The galaxy had mocked them. But now, as fleets vanished and empires trembled, one truth echoed everywhere. The hunt has begun. For months, the galaxy lived in fear. Alien fleets that once ruled the stars now hid behind their borders, whispering of hunters in the void. Every time a warship failed to return, every time a convoy vanished, the same question echoed in their minds. Where are the humans now? But fear alone was not enough to stop arrogance. The most powerful empires decided they had been humiliated for too long. If humanity was a threat, then humanity had to be erased, completely. A secret council was formed. Dozens of alien races, some of whom had hated each other for centuries, now sat at the same table. They all agreed on one thing: Earth must burn. It was the largest alliance in galactic history. Fleets from across the stars gathered in one place, a force so massive that even the most stubborn humans would surely crumble. Hundreds of battleships, thousands of cruisers, and countless smaller ships filled the black void like a storm of steel. Their leaders declared proudly, "We will wipe the humans from existence. This time the hunters will become the hunted." But Earth was not blind. Their spies had listened, their satellites had watched, and their intelligence networks had tracked every movement. Humanity knew the enemy was coming, and instead of running, they prepared. Deep beneath the surface of Earth's oceans, hidden inside hollowed asteroids, and buried within distant moons, colossal war machines stirred. These were not ordinary ships. They were sovereign-class destroyers, giants of steel and fire, the most powerful weapons humanity had ever built. For years they had slept, waiting for the day when Earth's wrath would be unleashed. That day had come. When the alien alliance entered human space, they expected an easy war. They expected a desperate defense, weak resistance, and quick victory. Instead, they entered a storm. It began in silence. The vast alien armada drifted toward Earth's colonies, weapons armed and ready. Suddenly, long-range sensors screamed with warnings. Something was moving in the dark. Something massive. Then, from behind shattered moons and broken asteroids, they appeared. One by one, Earth's sovereign-class destroyers revealed themselves. Their size dwarfed anything the aliens had ever seen. Towering like floating cities, their hulls bristled with cannons, railguns, and missile silos. Their armor was layered, forged to withstand punishment that would cripple any other ship. The alien admirals froze in disbelief. They had never imagined that humanity could build such monsters. Their laughter turned to silence, their arrogance to dread. The first shot came from a sovereign destroyer named Iron Will. Its railgun thundered, sending a slug the size of a skyscraper across the void. The round tore through 3 alien cruisers, in a single strike splitting them apart like paper. Then the sky lit up. Earth's warships opened fire as one. Railguns roared, missile storms rained across the stars, and energy beams slashed through the darkness. The alien armada staggered, caught off guard by the sheer fury of humanity's assault. But the humans were not finished. Smaller hunter-class ships darted between the giants, striking from the shadows and crippling engines. Carriers released swarms of drones, tiny machines that latched onto alien hulls and tore them apart from within. The battlefield became a nightmare. Alien captains shouted in panic. Their shields collapsed under the relentless barrage. Their formations shattered. Ships collided as they tried to retreat. But there was no escape. Humanity had built this trap carefully, and now the jaws had closed. For every human ship destroyed, 10 alien vessels fell. For every human pilot lost, dozens of enemy crews perished. Humanity fought not with numbers but with rage, the rage of a species that had been mocked, enslaved, and underestimated for too long. On Earth itself, people watched the battle unfold on giant screens. Families who had once feared extinction now cheered as their fleets tore through the galaxy's mightiest powers. Children raised their fists in pride. Soldiers on the ground swore oaths of vengeance. The world was united as never before, and above them in the black sea of stars, humanity's wrath burned brighter than suns. One by one, the alien admirals realized the truth. This was no longer a war of conquest. This was a war of survival. And humanity was not just fighting for their worlds. They were fighting to prove a point to the galaxy. Earth bows to no one. As the battle raged, a single message echoed across every channel, broadcast from Earth's flagship, Resolute. A human admiral's voice spoke, calm yet filled with fire. You mocked us. You enslaved our people. You thought us weak, but you have awakened our wrath, and now you will see what humanity truly is. The message, repeated across alien comms, carried on frequencies they could not block. It was heard by every soldier, every captain, every leader. And as more alien ships burned, the truth became clear. This was not humanity's last stand. This was humanity's rise. The great alien alliance had been shattered. What was once the largest armada in the history of the galaxy now drifted in ruins. Twisted metal floated silently, the wreckage of once proud warships burning like dying stars. The galaxy, which had expected to watch humanity's final breath, instead watched their unstoppable fury. But humanity was not finished. The battle at Earth was only the beginning. The survivors of the alien fleets limped back to their empires, their ships broken, their pride shattered. They carried with them stories of colossal destroyers, hunter-class raiders, and swarms of drones that turned the void into fire. They spoke of humans who fought with rage and precision, of weapons that tore through shields like paper. Their words spread faster than their ships, echoing through every council, every throne room, every dark corner of the galaxy. For the first time, the galaxy understood a terrifying truth. Humanity did not forgive. Humanity hunted. Across the stars, the hunt began. Human fleets split into task forces, each one moving silently, choosing its prey carefully. They no longer fought defensively. They did not wait for invaders. They struck first, slipping into enemy space and vanishing before the alarm could spread. One night, the great trade lanes of the Karth Dominion went silent. Convoys that had once carried supplies and riches to their capital vanished. Not a single distress call escaped. Only drifting wrecks remained, each one marked with the same message, carved into its hull by railgun fire. Earth remembers. In another system, the proud Zorathi collective awoke to fire. Their orbital defenses lit the skies with panic as human destroyers fell upon their stations. Missiles rained like a storm. Shields collapsed. The Zorathi homeworld itself trembled under orbital bombardment. And when it was over, the human fleet vanished back into the void, leaving nothing but silence. The galaxy tried to rally. Old rivals begged each other for help. New treaties were signed in desperation. But every time fleets gathered, every time they thought they were safe, the hunters arrived. Human warships appeared like ghosts, emerging from nebulae, rising from asteroid belts, or decloaking in the heart of enemy systems. They struck with precision, destroying fuel depots, command ships, and shipyards. Then they disappeared again, leaving entire empires crippled. No one felt safe anymore. Alien soldiers who once mocked humans now whispered in fear. Some refused to board their ships, some deserted. The words of the survivors haunted them all. You cannot hide from Earth. But the most terrifying strike of all came against the Falcor Dominion. one of the oldest and most powerful empires in the galaxy. Their leaders had mocked humans the loudest. They had called them savages, primitives, children playing at war. Now, humanity gave them their answer. A fleet of Earth's sovereign destroyers descended upon the Valkor capital. The sky turned, red as orbital defenses fired desperately, but nothing could stop the human wrath. Railguns cut through towers in orbit. Missiles shattered shipyards that had stood for centuries. Entire continents burned under precision bombardments. The Valkor Emperor, once proud and arrogant, sent a desperate message across the stars. His voice shook as he begged for mercy. "We were wrong," he admitted. "We underestimated you. Spare us and we will kneel." But Earth did not answer. The warships kept firing. For hours, the sky above the Valkor homeworld blazed like a second sun. When the bombardment ended, the Empire's capital was nothing but ruins. Humanity had not only defeated them, they had erased their pride. The galaxy trembled. Entire civilizations began to surrender without a fight. Some offered tribute. Others abandoned their fleets entirely. None dared to mock humans again. And, through it all, Earth's fleets continued their hunt. They left behind no speeches, no mercy, no chance for recovery. They were shadows in the stars, striking swiftly, reminding the galaxy that the age of laughter was over. Among humans, this was not seen as cruelty. It was justice. They remembered the colonies that burned, the families enslaved, the children mocked by alien lords. They remembered the centuries of humiliation. And now, at last, the debt was being paid. But even as the galaxy begged for mercy, Earth gave them only silence. Warships drifted like predators, watching, waiting, ready to strike again. Humanity had become what the galaxy feared most, hunters without pity. In bars, smugglers whispered that the stars themselves now belonged to Earth. Traders spoke of humans, with fire in their eyes, captains who never slept, soldiers who fought until their last breath. And in council chambers, alien rulers shivered as they realized there was no place left to hide. For the galaxy, this was no longer a war. It was an execution. And for humanity, it was only the beginning of the final hunt. The galaxy was broken. Once proud empires now whispered in silence, their fleets scattered, their leaders trembling. Planets that had once mocked Earth now lowered their banners in surrender. Trade routes lay in ruins, shipyards turned to ash, and the skies of countless worlds burned with the scars of humanity's wrath. But still, the humans did not stop. Fleet by fleet, system by system, they moved like shadows. They did not conquer territory. They did not build new thrones. They hunted. To humanity, this was not about empire. It was about memory, about vengeance. Every alien who had laughed, every ruler who had mocked, every commander who had raised a weapon against Earth, they would all remember this hunt forever. On the council worlds of the galaxy, fear turned to desperation. Messages of surrender were sent across the void. Riches, technology, even worlds were offered in exchange for mercy. But humanity remained silent. Their fleets never answered. Their silence was more terrifying than any threat. In the blackness of space, a single moment came that would mark the end. It happened above the neutral world of Tanar, a hub where once the galaxy's greatest rulers had gathered to boast of their power. Now it became the stage for humanity's final message. The alien council had gathered, hundreds of delegates sitting in a massive chamber orbiting the planet. They waited in fear, speaking in hushed voices. Rumors said the humans were coming. Some prayed it was false. Others clutched weapons they would never use. And then, the stars outside changed. Dozens of massive warships emerged from the void, dwarfing the station. Sovereign-class destroyers, hunter-class frigates, and carriers filled the black sea of stars. Their presence was overwhelming, their weapons armed, their banners blazing with the mark of Earth. The chamber fell silent. No one dared to breathe. From the largest ship, a transmission was sent. It was simple, clear, and unstoppable. Every screen flickered. Every device went black and then lit up with the image of a human admiral. His face was stern, his eyes unblinking, his voice steady like iron. "You mocked us," he said. His voice carried across every channel, every world, every ship. "You called us weak. You enslaved our people. You burned our colonies, and you laughed as we begged for mercy." He paused, letting silence fill the chamber. No alien dared to speak. "But you forgot what humanity is. We are survivors. We are warriors. We do not bow. We do not break. We endure. And when you struck us, when you mocked us, when you hunted us," the Admiral leaned forward, his voice growing colder, "you woke something you cannot stop." Outside, the warships fired a single barrage. Not at the council station, but into the void. Railgun fire lit the stars like thunder. Missiles streaked across the blackness like meteors. Energy beams cut through the darkness. It was not an attack. It was a demonstration, an echo of what could happen at any moment. The chamber shook with fear. Alien leaders looked at each other, their faces pale, their hearts pounding. They knew this was not just a warning. It was a promise. The Admiral spoke again, his words final, carved into the memory of every being who heard them. "You hunted us. You mocked us. You thought us weak. But now, we hunt you. From this day, let the galaxy remember. Humanity bows to no one." The transmission ended. Silence followed. The warships did not attack. They did not fire again. They simply turned and vanished back into the void, leaving only the echo of their message behind. But that silence was more terrifying than destruction, because the galaxy now lived with the knowledge that at any moment, in any system, in any shadow, humanity could return. And when they did, no fleet, no empire, no throne could stand against them. On Earth, the people watched the broadcast with pride. For generations, they had been mocked as weak, treated as prey. But now, they had proven the truth. Humanity was no one's slave. Humanity was no one's toy. Humanity was the predator, and the galaxy would never laugh again. Across the stars, the message spread. On every world and every council, the same words echoed in fear. "Do not mock the humans. Do not hunt the humans, because they will come for you." And so the age of arrogance ended. The galaxy would forever remember the hunters from Earth. The war was over, but the hunt had only just begun.